So here we are at the start of our second cities trip, where we went from London up to Manchester and Liverpool, and then back down through London to Paris and Marseille. We're looking at three things in general: people's use of urban space, regional travel connections, and whether a train can really be used to devolve power between a capital and second city.
So here we go in the Eurostar. Here you can see the social activity buzzing in the coach bar and some sitting.
So coming into St Pancras, there's a real sense of arrival and a real sense of place. The main concourse is very well laid out, but it's also quite a rational space. You'll process through it onto your onward connections, which are really quite good.
Whereas in Gare du Nord, that feels like a mess. Lots of people, lots of levels, a lot of activity going on. We still felt a lot of dynamism, and we really like the energy going on there. And here we are testing the connection between Gare du Nord and Gare de Lyon to go to Marseille, taking the regional express network from RATP, which is the local TfL, with this double-decker train. We had to do one change, but it took us in less than 15 minutes to the other station.
So we tested the connection between St Pancras and Euston, walking 5 minutes to get from one to the other. Euston is quite an interesting case because unlike the King's Cross redevelopment, it's really quite dreary and it's really seen as a kind of poor relationship. But whether this will improve when a high-speed rail comes. So really on England trains, people will go up to the shop and they'll get what they need and come back and eat at their seats, or someone will come through with a trolley. So it's not a very sociable experience.
So it felt like the French train was more designed to promote social interaction and with more public space available between the coaches. And here you can see the bar carriage, where it's just a high-work activity, people chatting, having drinks and staring at the window to see the landscape.
So I think Manchester Station is really well designed. It's a circulatory layout, which means that you can get to anywhere you want to really quickly and the whole of the station is used. But the sense of arrival is pretty poor, unlike in Marseille.
So in Marseille, the design is quite linear, very crowded and hard to access, but the sense of arrival is spectacular. We were just taken aback by the view we had when we arrived. So really, because of its perched situation overlooking the city, the station of Marseille is a place in itself. It's a landmark. For instance, the stone stairs are a gateway to the city for the people. So Saint-Charles is this iconic station for Marseille. But there are some issues going on at the moment because the station is overly saturated with people and the authorities want to enlarge it. But Marseille has a second station called La Blancarde, and we asked ourselves, why is the capacity not well shared between two stations instead of just enlarging one?
So upon arrival in La Blancarde, you have a small station house which was redeveloped only 6 months ago. However, what we're really looking at is the urban realm. It's really spacious with really good onward connections. So here you have a tube station. You also have a tramway and multiple trunk roads which lead all the way through Marseille. We really think there's great potential for this station, sitting on a really big site, and the ability to bring high-speed rail trains through here and onwards to connections along the coast, we think would work really well.
The regional connection from Saint-Charles are poor because it's a terminus station, so you have to wait for your train to push back and to go along the coast. So we met someone on the train that needed to go to the coast and he was coming from Paris, and the time he saved on a high-speed rail was lost in a way because the train had to slow at arriving in Marseille instead of going through.
So when you get away from the main railway stations to the regional platforms, you can see the funding gap, as really there's not very many amenities available.
And this is particularly true in Marseille, where there is basically no roof to protect the passengers to go to the regional connections. That was really warm that day, for instance, and people were struggling for shadow. What was really interesting, though, it was to see the quality of the actual regional train. Lots of space for social interactions, comfortable, double-decker, really nice view. So really contrasting with the poor quality of the platform.
So again, coming into Liverpool, there's a real sense of arrival, and though the station is quite small, it's really quite spectacularly designed, with a really nice public plaza leading down to the main road. Also, the underground as well really testifies, I think, to the ongoing investment which has been made to the city since the 2008 winning of the City of Culture Award.
So when we arrived in Toulon, we really enjoyed the way the station was interacting with the street. It's very permeable, very accessible.
So looking at the stations, what we really took from them was the way in which they act as a gateway to their respective cities. And really the station design reflects how important a city is, and the status which that city carries as well.